game here. Started a little bit sooner than I expected, but that's okay. It is game number 3 in this best of 5. It's, of course, the semifinals for the OlimoLeague, and we got some folks asking, couldn't we see True versus Gumiho instead? But the thing is, you're going to see it as well, guys. It's the second semifinals, so we're going to cast both of them. So sit tight, enjoy. It comes up as soon as the series concludes. And it might end just here, because the guy spawning in the top left corner of the map is going to be Axiom's Impact. He's down 2 games at the moment.
The bottom right as the red Zerg hits Solar.
Alright, so credit where it's due. Solar's actually playing this pretty well. The defense in game number 1, okay, that was probably like the least common of all the early pool usage we see. Like, spine crawler rushes really just don't happen anymore. They work once in a while, but yeah, not that common. Solar held that pretty well. Game 2, just played the better macro game at Impact, or rather over Impact. But Impact is such a good Zerg player. Even down 2-0 like this, I personally still wouldn't count him out. It's very possible Solar takes the series into 3-0. But yeah, Impact's he's a good player.
Yeah, he is. It seems like a little bit of bad luck. It does look like Solar's kind of like, like, I don't know. What are you trying to do, man? And like brushes him off, you know? But it really does. It's like, you know, if they got into a fight and Impact was like punching him, and Solar would be like, "What are you doing? Stop! You're not even hurting me." It's kind of what Impact like, because Impact has like all these really great ideas that are like, "Oh, he's gonna like wreck him. Look at this, like 2 spine crawlers, or look at all these lings," and Solar's just like, "Eh, you know, I'm not taking any damage. Eh."
Please, please.
Basically, yeah. So I don't know if Impact's plan is now that's like, how about I like don't try an attack? How about, you know, I be responsive? Maybe like actually completely change up my style of play, or he's gonna just do another type of all in. You know, he did that Ling all in last game. Maybe a Baneling all in the early game. You know, Ling Bling wars are always fun. True
enough. True enough. Well, it's just the scouting links for now. Nothing too insane. It's again, just going back to Ohana for a moment, guys. No matter where you take this third, it is going to be a little bit weird. You get the rocks you got to tear down. You get the further exposed base. I mean, if you really haven't been so maybe up with following the scene season to season, a lot of very important changes started coming into effect. I'd say right around the time this map will start falling out, where map designers started considering different ways to handle things. We had that era of horrible blink maps, and I never want to remember that, but I mean, outside of that, we had mains start changing, natural sizes changing, the way you can take a third base leaning more towards macro play, making games longer instead of shorter, and this was still like that I guess the pre-consideration era, where I think people were just making maps to make maps. There wasn't really a lot of thought going into like how the themes would play out.
Excuse you? What was that map? Coliseum was the best map ever.
I don't even know which map you're talking about, man.
I forget what it was called. It was like all rocks. It was like based off a Brood War map, so you can kind of give it to like, you know, okay, I'll give you that. But it was all rocks. Like breakdown rocks get to your natural, breakdown rocks get your third, breakdown rocks get to your opponent, breakdown rocks get your fourth.
That sounds like a nightmare for Zerg players.
It was a lot of rocks. Yeah, I don't recall a lot of Zerg players being played on that map. It was actually mostly Terran, but anyways. Banelands does go down for Impact. It is actually Solar who went for the gasless expand this time, so a little bit of a flip.
Whether that'll come into effect or not, it's I don't know. Ohana's not one, like, he's already got the creep spread going. Should he need to wall this off, he can. Nice deny out of the scouting. Impact does not get to the main.
Impact is making a lot of lings. As long as he doesn't like dedicate and make 15 banelings as well, it won't be a problem should Solar just wall off and again just be like, what are you doing?
The problem is, though, by taking that drone cut around the 6-minute inject rather than like the 5-minute inject, yeah, your economy's a little bit better for Impact, but these overlords are going to see this coming from a mile away. Like, yeah, there we go. Immediately starts walling this off.
Yeah.
Now he's playing this really cautious by not going for a full wall off, or not really cautious, I should say, really risky by not going for that full wall off. There we go.
Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, okay, you can try, if he breaks up the Evo Chamber, that's cool. If he forces Solar to make more buildings out of the build count, that's also really nice. But it's you know, it's not gonna be enough to do game and that's okay. Behind this, Impact goes for his own drones, so that drone count's starting to even out just a little bit. And he has a couple of banelings in the main, I guess, somewhere. I guess they're canceled.
It's the layer I'm looking at more so to see how he plans to take advantage of this, so to speak. With the extra gases, it's almost got to be mutas, right?
I think so. I do. But now Solar, you know, if he sees this or if he even thinks that it might be a case, you can get that roach count up there and try and attack.
I mean, we already saw Impact versus Keen. Fantastic mutalist control. And that's going to translate here for the CBZ. The problem is, though, mutas are relatively easy to shut down as far as like game-ending damage, and if you are a good enough Zerg player like Solar is, it's not going to be too difficult to either pump out tons of Queens or swap to Hydralisks.
Yeah. It's a little difficult in this map if you don't break down the rocks, of course. You definitely want to break down the rocks, at least in this scenario. Maybe... actually, even against roaches, roach versus roach, you'd want to do that too. Well, the point is that if you don't break down these rocks, you know, your queens can't get over to the third base fast enough. Your hydras can't if you go straight up to hydras. Luckily, this was scouted by the overlord over there.
Yeah, risky stuff. Once again, I want to stress, guys, what we do at Base Rate TV classically and typically share just about every replay from every game we cast with our subscribers. Sadly, the OlimoLeague, along with pretty much every Korean tournament, if we're going to be brutally honest, does not let us share replays. But the exclusive privilege goes to those who contribute to the Patreon page, that you can get replays from these tournaments through there. If you have any questions about it, ask OlimoLeague in chat or contact her on Twitter. She's very open and very, again, transparent about these things. You'll see exactly where everything goes. That way you know that your money's not being wasted.
That's a lot of roaches. That's 30 supply up for Impact.
But, I mean, like, this is the problem for Impact. He didn't put up those 5 spine collars leading into the mutas. He went for the mutas first. But this also means he'll actually have them out to fight the roaches in time. So this is a very awkward timing because these roaches are not going to go down fast, but they will go down. So the question is, how much damage can Solar do before the mutas clean it up?
Oh, I'm thinking a lot.
Oh, no cancel. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot too. This is a hell of a lot of freaking roaches.
We get that hatchery.
Yeah, there's just too much firepower here.
Yeah. The Lynx tried to counterattack at the third, but they didn't kill it, so...
Impact sadly going to fall here in the semifinals to Solar, who will finally, this time, wrap up the series 3-0, leading him into the finals, where he'll wait the opponent of either Gumiho or